Hey, how are you? All right, you guys ready to solve some problems today? Okay, here's one of my favorite topics to do on Fridays. And my favorite topics to do on Fridays is to really bust open your mind, not literally, but bust open your mind to the possibility. So write this down. Write this down, everybody, because I want this to haunt you all weekend in a good way. You are either reliable or you are a reason. You are either reliable or you are a reason. Okay, reliability, you already know what that is. It means somebody asks you to do something and you always find a way. You ask yourself to do something and you always find a way. But reason is there's always a reason why something doesn't work, right? And so have you guys, and this, by the way, it's very human, but it's so accepted. And the challenge with it being so accepted is you're not kidding anybody, because even though people may not say anything to you, or maybe they do say something to you, you always have a reason why you can't hit that mark. So just so you know, I used to live over here in my life and I was very unhappy. Now, I was happy when I didn't have a lot of pressure on me, but the truth is that when you start adding more pressure to your life, you had kids, you had like aging parents, you had like your spouse all of a sudden can't contribute financially, or somebody gets sick. I mean, nobody thinks that your spouse is going to get sick, right? Ash freaked me out today. He wakes up this morning, he goes, my arm's numb. And I'm like, what do you mean your arm's numb? He's like, my arm's numb. And it's for like, he's golfing and it's actually, he meant his shoulder. His shoulder is like locked up, right? And he actually thinks he needs to get shoulder surgery. So we laugh because Ash is like, I've got to go get shoulder surgery. Do not tell him I said this. And I'm like, let's go talk to our friends. No, I got to go get, I know what I need, Shanda. I got to go get shoulder surgery. Let's just go talk to our friends. It's like this little, but he freaked me out this morning because he's like, my arm's numb. And I share this with you because it's like the last thing that I ever want in my life is for my husband to go down, right? Like that would just throw a lot of wrenches into my life in so many different ways. And so I have a lot of empathy for you guys out there who are walking something like that. Like, God bless you that you have the resilience and the strength to be able to walk through that. And I hope everything works out. And this morning I was like, OMG, like what would happen if something happened to my husband? So forget about the financial aspect. That's one aspect. Thank God I know how to create. I think money is very easy to make. When I pull back making money, it's because there's some sort of reason, and this has been my opportunity in team. I'm not blaming my team, by the way. I'm not blaming my team whatsoever. That's not what I'm saying. But when you know your products and programs, and you've got a good amount of cash, and then you have cash that's even above that, there is a reason. Does that make sense? And at some point, y'all, you can't run every ball yourself. Do you guys get what I'm saying? You just can't. You can't. Okay? Like you can't run every ball yourself. And so when you hit the different marks where you start hitting reasons, whether it's somebody else giving you reasons or whether it's yourself giving you reasons, somebody has to make a decision to become reliable. And when this happens, whenever I talk about leadership, this is what I'm talking about. This is leadership and this is leadership. And it's really easy to tell yourself, you know what, I'd like to reduce the pressure in my life. That would make me happy. The problem with that is I will promise you that the world will slam you with the fact that you wish that you would have stepped up with more pressure and been more reliable. Because the more pressure you can handle, the more reliable you are, the more powerful as life hits you, that you have the mental stability, not even stability, call it like, the difference between a team that makes it to the Super Bowl and wins it is the difference between this. Somebody on the team had a reason. This was a relentless team that was reliable. And when you become relentless, you become reliable. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? So today I want to, in a safe way, right? Like I don't want you to feel bad. In a safe way, I want you to give me your reasons. I want you to give me your reasons on, I've hit a human moment and I've got a reason why I can't go to that next level. And I want to help expand your mind today so that you can get out of the reasons and you can put yourself in a position where you become reliable for yourself, right? At that next level, right? I have reasons going to the next level. And here's how I work through my reasons. I say, number one, I know somebody knows the answer. And I move fast. Money loves speed. I don't sit there and go, I have a problem with this, I have a problem with this, I have a problem with this. I just handle it by finding somebody who doesn't think that reason, that problem is a problem. Does that make sense, you guys? Like, I know nothing about tech, nothing. So I know that somebody knows whatever tech I want to do. I know somebody thinks it's easy. I'm not looking for somebody in my life to solve my reasons in my life, the things that I'm having a challenge with. I don't want somebody to give me advice. That is cheap. I want somebody, when I say my problem, they say, oh, that's easy. Now I know that I'm with the right leader, right? Now, I believe the world of dreams, I don't even believe it, I know it to be true. The world of your dreams comes true based on your ability to connect with the leaders in the world that think whatever you're trying to do is easy. Where the breakdown happens is we get complacent, or we believe that these reasons are real. And because we've lost vision, or maybe we haven't lost vision, maybe we've never had a big enough vision, we just kind of stay stuck in the putt. Let's just move a little bit further ahead. And you guys, I'm just telling you, I just don't think that's going to work out for very much longer. I just don't. Right? And so there'll be some government assistance somewhere that will help you if you want to keep living that way. But the world isn't going to balance that out for you anymore, because there just ain't going to be anywhere for you to live complacently. Okay, so I just got out of my leadership team with our Hardcore leadership staff going through, and I shared this with them. And I said, we already have a very, very high performance team in Hardcore leadership. Okay, very, very high performance team. And in fact, if you look at everywhere in my entire company, that's the team that with love works the most. Anybody who's done HCL in my company knows that. That is the team that works the hardest, the most, and they also never complain. They never complain because they're in high performance all the time. They have this advantage of always being so resilient that they figure it out. Does that make sense? It's a huge blessing. So if you have somebody in your life right now that's adding some pressure to you and you want them to back down, I would encourage you to shift your mind and write this question down. If I was going to stay committed to whatever either I agreed to or I said I wanted, do you hear me right now? Remember, you said you wanted certain things. You might be able to convince a few people about the reason why you can't hit it, but you ain't fooling them. You might be able to convince them. You might be able to strong arm them. You might be able to shut them down with your freaking attitude. You might be able to suppress them into submission, but you ain't fooling them. And you're not fooling yourself either, right? Because now you lose the courage to go after your biggest dreams because you know that you've kind of pulled the wool over people's eyes to stay stuck. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, so I want you to ask yourself the question. Remember, you don't have to take action on it. You don't have to make any moves. You can take all the pressure off yourself. I want you to play the game for the rest of May. So wall size post-it yourself. Write reliable or reason on a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. And every time you give a reason why you can't complete something, finish something, keep your word. This is all commitment, by the way. This is all levels of commitment issues that somewhere along the line, somebody has taught you. It probably started as a kid. Somebody has taught you it's okay to say, I'll take you for lunch, my daughter, my son, and then not do it because work got in the way. Or I'll take you, I'll do that course with you. You know what? I really don't want to do that course with you. I just said that I would and I got to stop being a people pleaser. No. You take your people pleaser and you stay committed and you finish it. And then stop being a people pleaser after that. Every time we break our word to other people, we are training the next generation, which we were trained as well. You know what I mean? These are our levels of standard. So you can be a hard worker and have a commitment issue. You can be a hard worker. You could work freaking 14-hour days and have all the reasons why you can't keep your commitment. But honestly, it really comes down to you have been unwilling to strategize something different, to be resilient and reliable. And you can kid yourself all day long, but if you actually stop and look, you will see you are one big excuse to a lot of people in your life, and you got to change that, in my opinion. Okay? So, and other people do it to you too. So you're not the only culprit. Like, it happens to all of us. And so as you play a bigger game, reasons start to grow. And that's when you have to kind of put up the flag and say, all right, I'm playing a bigger game. I now have belief systems and reasons why I can't hit that. Let me just play this question on myself. Now, this is a question I want you to write down. And I want you to put it at the top of your board for the rest of the month, and just humor yourself on what could happen if you operated like this. If you're just willing. People say they're open, but you're not open if you don't at least ask this question to yourself. If I was going to keep my commitment to my son, my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my dream, my fitness goal, if I was going to keep my commitment to whatever I said I was going to commit to, even if I don't feel like it, okay? Because I've committed to a few things in the past. I just didn't want to complete them, right? But that is low integrity. Do you guys get that? And low integrity, you might not get this because of your standards, but it actually is a form of lying. I mean, this is some deep stuff. This is all the stuff we handle in our leadership programs, and it's eye-opening to people, right? Like, it's eye-opening to people. They're like, oh my gosh, my life could be high performance in such a different way. So ask yourself this question. If I was going to keep my word to that, and I'm going to tell you, probably have to say the next sentence. It doesn't mean I have to. Because your mind already believes that you can't keep that commitment. I very much doubt that most people watching here would categorize themselves into, a bad person mode. Do you know what I mean? Like, you guys all consider yourself hopefully good people, right? And so that being said, you're going to have to trick your mind a little bit. Because you really do believe, this is like logic, right? Like, you really believe there's only so much time in a day. I only have so much money. There's only so much I can do when I have a challenging spouse, or like, oh my gosh, when I moved to both California and Puerto Rico, my calendars were switching, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is almost impossible to figure out priority focus time, until it wasn't. So I hit a reason. Right? Why I could justify not having priority focus time. And it was a real problem on my life. Right? And so here's the question. If I was going to keep my commitment to this person, this situation, this book, this workout plan, this goal that I said I was going to hit this month, my spouse, whatever, if I was going to keep this commitment, what would have to happen in order for me to keep it? What would have to happen in order for me to keep it? That is a game-changing question. Game-changing question. And if you just ask yourself that question, I just gave you like the gold right there. It really is the gold. That is the question. Whatever I say next, I move on immediately. Money loves speed. I don't put it on a to-do list. The reason why I'm even asking that question in my life is because 100% I feel stuck in a certain area. You feel stuck in a certain area. And so if it goes on a to-do list, how motivated am I to go work that to-do list to solve that problem? Not very much. And the reason why I'm not very much, and you wouldn't be very much, is you actually have a limiting belief around it. Does that make sense? You guys put yes if you believe that. If you can see that. Like, if you have a limiting belief around something, you're not running towards it with full compassion. You're not like, yeah, let's go, I want to take that on. You're like, let me avoid that. Let me put that on the other side of the desk. Let me put that in a drawer. Let me think about that later. I don't have time. Because busy energy is an intimacy fear. And when you start getting more pressure in your life, the last thing you want to do is get intimate with the thing that you have a limiting belief on. For men, it feels very much like it's a waste of time, or they just don't have the time for it because men are very single focused. They want to knock it out. Women, it feels like bandwidth taking from you. You're just like, oh my gosh, I just don't have enough time. It's just like, it just changes your whole atmosphere. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take on those reasons. I'm going to start hot seating the people on Zoom. You guys on social media, you're welcome to watch us. I'll do 2 in front of you, then I'll close it down. And then you guys on Zoom, I'm going to stay with you and get real intimate and granular with you on this. Okay? Sound good? Yes? All right. Is it Akalon?
Akalon.
Akalon. Thank you. All right. What is the goal that you're trying to hit, and what's the reason you're coming up against that is not allowing you to hit it? You're muted. Let me unmute you.
How's that?
Perfect. Okay, go for it.
Okay. So I'm in the early part of the promo period for my summit. And we've invited 100,000 people.
Great.
The lists, the speakers. This is day 3. I'm up to 35 registrations. So I need.
Why?
I'm of that exactly.
Okay, let me help you with this. What is your page converting at?
It's definitely less than 50%. The data. I've been checking the data page, and sometimes it seems like the data is not correct, and I'll adjust it, and then it suddenly is. I don't know. It's
okay.
I don't think it's even 30%. I think it's closer to 20%.
Okay, but see, you're in a conversation of I think, and so I just want to bring it up because I want to go after the leadership quadrant that you need to go after, right? You guys are either lacking enthusiasm, being a promoter and being like positive and all up there, or you're lacking analytics where you're actually being connected to the numbers, or you're lacking control where you're not making decisions, right? Or you're lacking supporter, which means you're not listening to what people are saying, and so your messaging is off.
Okay.
Do you get that? So all you guys should have written notes on that. Like all you guys should have a piece of paper because those are the 4 areas. If you want to style flex yourself so that everything always works for you, because everything's going to break. I mean, 98% of anything we ever try in the world breaks, right? Think I'm falling in love with this person and then they pick their nose. You know what I mean? You're like, didn't see that coming. Not attracted to you anymore. You pick your nose. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this happens in business, love, everything. Go in the gym, somebody sideswipes my car, now I can't go to the gym, right? But a high performer is like, I'm not gonna settle for that. I'm gonna do the damage report with the police, and then I'm gonna go for a run at least for even if it's 15 minutes. The underperformer says, I don't have an hour to work out, so I'm just not gonna do it. And they justify the reason for the breakdown. Right? It's in these details that make everything. So go ahead.
Converting about 20%.
See, when I hear the words about, I think I'm being tight with you because you want me to be loose or you want me to be tight, right? Do we want to be reliable? Like if you want to operate in high performance, like I'm a pain in the ass. And the reason why I'm a pain in the ass is I notice all those things. So when someone on my team, if you and I were working, you were running my marketing and you're like, I think it's about 20. I'd be like, what do you mean you think? What is it? Do you know what I mean? Like I can't hit a target if I don't know what it is. That's how I would talk to you. This is why it's not made for everyone to come work at Hardcore, right? Because that's how I talk to you, right? So you need to really go figure out what that is because here's the difference. If you're looking at it daily, if you've got certain
that I was doing was saying there were days where we weren't live with registration, and it was telling me it was giving me data that shouldn't even exist. It was telling me there was registrations when we weren't even live. So I'm digging into the data to make sure it's giving me accurate data. So because of that, I'm not 100% clear. But
okay, so again, a detailed scenario. Okay, so if that was happening in my company, I would want that fixed within the next hour. If you couldn't fix it and you were running that part of my company, I would say go find somebody who can. And if you kept telling me that every day, I would start to lose sleep because I'd be like, oh my gosh, this person is being a reason versus being reliable. Somebody knows. If I went to the ClickFunnels Facebook group, like they're going to take down the post because they won't let you post in there like and ask for things. But I would go in there and I would go, hey, does anybody have a reliable tech person that could look at my registration page because my data is not accurate? And I would have at least 30 people within probably less than 2 minutes, definitely 5 minutes, and my inbox would be full with hungry people who want that job. I've done it many times, right? And so that's just one way I could solve the problem. I could go find lots of different groups out there and I could solve. Do you see where my head went right away, you guys? I'm like, I don't know how to fix that. And clearly you don't either. And so even if I had a virtual assistant, a tech person, and a business manager and a CMO, and by the end of the day, especially next day, if I'm still getting that result, I have, with love, disqualified all their asses. In my head, I might be kind, I might be loving, I might be willing to work with them and develop them, but in my head, they can't do the job. And I'm telling you, I've worked with a lot of people who can't do the job and cultivated them. But I know that they are a effing reason. I got to go get reliability in my life because if I don't, I'm going to burn through my capital, burn through my time. I'm going to miss opportunities. And I can't blame them for that. Does that make sense? If they can't do the job, they can't do the job. They will either be a reason and be replaced, or they will be reliable and get rich. That is just the case. It's how it works. So that's that. So now we got to move on from that. But you throwing more traffic.
I work with Hardcore Works with this. I've hired Hardcore Works there. My project managers put a message into the designer for that data page. They're looking into that.
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. I'm telling you this as an owner. If they can't get you your answer or figure it out, you effing go figure it out. Or you tell them to go into ClickFunnels and make a post. Do you guys get this? Like I said this, I got one private client right now. And it's like they have a huge blind spot in this. And we're building a funnel for all of our 1% clients right now, right? Which is a lot of work, by the way. Right? And so we're building funnels for all of them. And one client keeps changing a little bit of a tweak here, a little bit of a tweak there. And they want to blame with love because I can't blame them because it's a emotional thing. They want to blame the department for not getting it done. Now, by the way, they're like some of my favorite people. Okay. So like, I'm not talking shit about them. It's a blind spot and I'm walking the same thing with them that I am with you right now. You guys have to understand, if you know you need to get something, you got to tell people what to do. So I said to them, I was like, you need to tell the team that can we meet in 3 days or 5 days to go over these adjustments? And if you don't and you leave it to them, you got 3 people that are working in their own weeds. And it like, who's circulating back? Like when I'm running something, I'm the fucking boss. Do you know what I mean? Like, if my team's not operating the way I want them to operate, I get to look in the mirror. Do you know what I mean? I have never had a shitty virtual assistant, ever. You know why? Because the more granular I was, the more controlling I was.
I'm done with school and I got a 9.
Okay, come here. Sorry, guys.
Where's?
I want a huggy.
Come on, go and tell her. You can ask her.
I'm so proud of you. Okay, it's over there. I trust you. I will ask her, but I trust you. Okay,
She's
bye.
leaving right now. You want to?
I'll text her. I got it.
I'll text her. Oh, I'll text.
Bye. Shut the door. Thanks, guys, for giving me. I always have a commitment that when Zach comes, like I'm present with him. So he's working hard. Okay, so
I love that.
Thank you.
So I'm working on, right now I'm looking at, okay, this project is on me to succeed and I have a responsibility to my speakers to lead this so they've invited. So to me, my messaging must be broken down. I'm shifting out of, I don't want to be the reason. I want to be.
Yeah, I get that. Get that. And you know, I know that it like people like move on, Shanda, but I'm like, This is really important. So you're getting it. And remember, it's very, very easy to just let team or whatever do their job. But does anybody know Alex Hermosi?
Little
Any of you
familiar.
guys? He's a freaking animal. Hold on one second. He's an animal. He's an absolute animal. Like he's just an animal on the details. Like, I meet with you. Can we meet tomorrow? Can we meet tonight? When I'm running performance, whether it's in my accounting department, my coaching department, anywhere, I am meeting with them for 10 minutes at the beginning of the day, and I'm meeting with them at 10 or 15 minutes right after lunch. Why? I want to catch the problem. And if for some reason somebody can't deliver on that, well, can we do it tomorrow? This is the same way I tell you to go find experts to interview. I tell you, give them two times that you can meet. Don't just like, hey, like, I just heard somebody the other day go, yesterday, hey, like, when do you want to meet? Don't freaking ask people when they want to meet. Tell them. You guys are the drivers of your company. It's called open loops. You got to close them. So I don't know if your page is converting or not. What is the message?
So the banner tagline is activate unstoppable inner strength with an unstoppable identity, and the skills will teach you to feel confident, worthy, and capable of meaningful change. That's the tagline. The video, go ahead.
I don't know if I like the word meaningful, but it's got enough of a straight. You got SEALs, Navy SEALs.
In the past, I've interviewed a SEAL.
I thought that's what it said. I'm sorry. Okay, let me give you some scenario. Number one is you need to have your experts mailed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you have links that are telling you that?
Yes, there's only 5 that have data come in, so either the others haven't sent, or well, some I know have sent and their data's not coming in, so that's telling me, like, there's an 8,000 list where 0 data came in, so out of 8,000, 0.
Your challenge, it's good that we're talking right now. Your challenge is connection is currency. And you are too far removed from the urgency of things happening. So for instance, in my 10 days that my experts are mailing, I am touching base all the time after I confirm an expert, all the time. My team could do whatever they want to do. I'm in a relationship with my experts. I am sending them Instagram in their ecosystem because I'm in the project. Do you get what I'm saying? When I'm doing an interview series, I'm not doing 100 other things. I'm doing the interview series. Like I got List Power Intensive next week. I'm on List Power Intensive. Do you know what I mean? Right after List Power Intensive, I shift and I am into the mastermind. And then I shift and I'm into my project with Jonathan Oda. Do you get what I'm saying? And so the team's doing what the team's doing at the speed that they're doing, whatever they're doing. Right? But I shift. I'm like one project at a time and I shift. So when they're mailing these 10 days, I am looking at data 2 to 3 times a day. Now your data's messed up. I'm looking at where's the list been? The list is low. Okay, if the list is low, I want to know how many of the experts have mailed. Well, 2 have mailed. Okay, I need to get on top of everybody else because we got 10 days, right? And so I'm reaching out to them. They're doing this because of me. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm reaching out to them until I can afford somebody that is a business manager that is in charge of relationships. You know what I mean? I am doing that because my virtual assistant will not have the same heart I do. They don't have they don't have the same charisma. Does that make sense, you guys? So you're in fixed mode. You're in reactional mode. You know what I mean? And so the best thing you could do right now is to touch base with each of your experts on Instagram, Facebook, wherever they're. I find people are quick on Instagram. And I would just, hey, I'm just checking in with you. How are things going? Right? First, open up a dialogue. Oh, they're going good. Awesome. So I'm curious. When are you guys planning on mailing. Assume they all have it mailed. Oh, I mailed yesterday. Oh, really? Huh. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know. Okay, that one mailed. Let's move to the next. You got to get in and you got to figure it out. And
Well,
you got to do that all while you're at the airport.
The example I gave you with that list of 8,000, I'm very much engaged with that person. I did a recording of her video last night. I've been communicating back and forth this week through email. She's been very excited about the interview. We did interview prep emails. She sent me her copy of the email she sent out. She's very excited and engaged. It may just be that the audience she has doesn't match what I offer. I don't know, but I think it's on that.
Why is she writing the email?
What's that?
Why is she writing the email?
No, she took the promo email we provided on her dashboard. And then tweaked it. And she just showed it to me to prove she sent it. And she was excited that she sent it out. So she's engaged, and I've been leading that.
Okay, but that's one person. You either have 15 or 21 or more. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? So you're not in trouble by me. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you where the gap is in the leadership. And this is not a gap that's just on you. This is a gap I'm seeing in a lot of areas where you guys listen to me. You are trusting other people too much. There's a reason why I'm teaching what I'm teaching at the mastermind and having people execute. And I am a very trusting person, like to the level of naivety. But I do not trust people to do what they say they're going to do because I know most people live in reasons. Unless it's very rare I come up against a high performer, especially one that hasn't made a lot of money yet. It's very rare. I've got two right now in my ecosystem. Do you know what I mean? That is very rare birds, right? They operate like as if they've already created $100 million company. And that's why they will create that. Do you know what I mean? Because they already act as if they own the ecosystem at that level, whether or not it's their job or not. And not one time have I heard them say, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, or how long they've worked. Not once. And they flew out to Puerto Rico, and I sat with them. And you know what they said? We have one person on our team, and every time they call, they're a high performer. And every time they call, they say, I'm exhausted. It's their first words. And so you guys all might not know this, or maybe you do know this because you are a high performer. Every time somebody tells you how long they've worked, that they're exhausted, tired, whatever, you already know that person not classified that way. They might not. But every high performer, by the way, let me be really clear with y'all. It is much happier to live a life of high performance than it ever will be to reduce pressure and live with peanuts. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like this idea, like let go of the pressure and I'll be happier. No, you will not be happier. You will be hit by 17 Mack trucks before you get to your deathbed by other things that are happening that if you had the money, you could step up and have a different change. But because you don't have the money, your family members are going to go into hospice, or they're going to go into really challenging places because you don't have whereabouts to make it better for them. It's going to happen because it's going to happen to every single one of us. So I think that this is what I would predict. Well, first of all, I would take it upon yourself right now to reach out to all the people while I think you're in an airport. Are you in an airport? And just.
I'm at a high school right now. I'm moving to a different room. The passing time just started.
Got it. So like the fact that you are even on this right now, you have a high standard for yourself. The challenge is he's not putting that in the people he's working with. You guys get what I'm saying? Like he's not transferring that to the people he's working with. And don't assume they know how to, because they don't. I didn't become a high performer because I just made it up on my own. I became a high performer because somebody saw me and they fucking spoke into me.
Okay, yes.
But they did. They spoke into me. They had compassion for me, and I never argued them once. I know exactly who it was before I started hiring coaches, and it was my boss. know what I mean? And she's like, you go here. So you need to grab a hold of all these experts. You need to reach out, pretend they all didn't mail. Just be like, hey, check in on them, touch base. Hey, I just saw your post you just put up. Super good. How you doing? They're gonna reach back, like, awesome, that's so good. But you need to stay connected to that. Have it open. And that they respond to you, the better.
Oh, yeah, so.
Yep.
So go touch base.
Connect more and lead more is what I'm hearing.
In urgency. So it's like when you're reliable, you're resilient, you're super fast. Like it's very, very fast. It's not, I'm going to put that on the thing I'm going to do later. That could be a high performer that lost the high performer is like, I'm just going to handle that right now. Hey, babe, can you drive? I'm going to take that right now and shoot it over. Like it is like, I'm so freaking reliable. I just handle it now. Right. Yep. And what happens is you never have things piling up on your to-do list and you never feel like you're overwhelmed because you just took care of it. It's a wild way to live and it's so awesome. It's so inefficient. All the efficient people, they're the ones with the biggest weeds. They're always the ones with the biggest weeds. I'm going to do this so much more efficient. Yes. Okay. Harvard. Okay. And you will not have your own company. Do you know what I mean? You will not have the freedom, or you won't create entrepreneurship that has freedom. That is complete. Entrepreneurship is not super efficient. It's a fucking effective. And effective is very different than efficient. Effective is I got this, I can knock it out right. It's done. Effective is I've done 17 of these PowerPoints, I got a blank one ready to go. Do you know what I mean? Like effective is like solves the problem so that they can have speed. Make sense? So
yeah, that's the gear need to shift into from effective to efficient.
Yeah, so literally have all of your like your Instagram or whatever. Talk to all your people on Instagram real quick. Touch base with them. Don't follow up. Right? Touch base. It'll take you like probably 5 to 6 minutes. You're done. And then just leave your phone open with a note for yourself in front of you that says, close the gap with them. Close the gap. Get them to mail. If they already said they mailed, say, hey, we're really fired up about this. Is there any way you can set up a second email to the unopens? Then you need to take your ass to your opt-in page. You need to figure out what's going on. Go to Instagram, send your opt-in, and let's close the gap on this, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Helmut, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good, it's so good. You know what? Can I tell you something? You always light up a room. I know you know that. You really do. What's your goal and what's your reason?
So my goal, I spent this week working through the strategic plan. So I did that in January after doing the session. What was the big session that you did in Texas? Yeah. And then I've gone through Hardcore Leadership, which was fantastic. And I'm sort of trying to put together my plan for the summer. And I'm trying to think through what areas make sense to outsource versus not. And I am just a bit of context, right? So I worked like a corporate job. I've always worked a corporate job. So I'm transitioning into entrepreneurship and trying to see how to get to money. Let me give you my 5 things, right? That are on my strategic list. And I am the kind of person that loves to have commitments going at the same time, but I do know that I need to focus, right?
And you need recovery, because it's in recovery. Like it's literally like it was in my last month's flex week that I was able to completely nail down all of the people I'd put feeders in for your guys' mastermind. I had to go and spend time with all of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, because people are like, hey, you want to meet for coffee? I can't. You know what I mean? Because when I'm working, I have a full schedule when I'm working, just like all of you guys, right? And so I need recovery time so that I can like be in the space of creativity and thinking and relationship with people, and none of it is a to-do. There's no appointments, but it's just doing life. Does that make sense? So give me your main goal. What's your main goal? Revenue, what's your main goal?
From a revenue perspective,
Well, what is your main goal? Like, what's the main goal?
I guess I'd say the main goal is to try to get
Am I
revenue.
cutting out?
You were going slow, but maybe that's me.
No, I think it's me.
I'm like, am I generating this?
I think it's me.
Um, so my main goal is to try to get to a form of sustainable revenue by the end of the summer, right? So I'm using my own savings and sort of paying for myself to that point. That's my main goal.
So too general, what would be a number that you just feel comfortable with so that you got sustainability?
I would say like 14, 11K a month,
Okay, great.
like at least to start.
Yeah, no. There's no, this is good because it gives you a target so you know, like, listen, you're working. I mean, do you know how many people have been in entrepreneurship and still like they're like, I want just $3,000 a month. You're like, I'd like $11,000 a month sustainable so I can feel good about making a move, which is great. Okay, great. And when you're an entrepreneur, obviously, if you make $11,000, you don't keep $11,000, right? Because when you work for someone, they pay a percentage of your taxes, right? Like there's a whole thing, right? Like, and then when you're making $11,000 a month, you probably have somebody on staff, right, that's working with you so that you can do what you do and take that 11,000 to 50,000, right? And so, and you got no write-offs except for the write-offs that you create, but it's still
Right.
money out of the pot. That's what people don't realize. Like, people are like, you're making so much money, I should just get a raise. I'm like, no, you have no, yeah, I have a burn rate of 400,000 a month. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild. Okay, so when you look at your one-page strategic plan, what are the five real quick?
So the five are publishing a book. The second one is basically developing two Netflix-like shows, like concepts and pushing for them.
Like the scripts?
Huh?
The scripts?
Like the concepts, the branding, the targeting, and actually trying to push them through to get funded,
Okay, great.
which is brand new, by the way. I'm part of that, like working the network and all that joy. The third thing, and the only reason I have the third is because of you this week. And that's this concept of a social media presence, like really developing. I haven't before Hardcore Leadership really been able to articulate like who I am out into the world as a
Yep.
gay father with faith. So that is new. And that persona wouldn't have been possible before.
Yep.
The fourth thing is actually around more masterclasses around my nonprofit. And I see that what I've noticed from the first masterclass I did is that it's really coaching that seems to be the salient thing that people want or need. I should say need, not want. And the last one is actually doing financial coaching. Think of that as like financial literacy and working with people who basically wealth management. But think of that as like startup, like fresh, like baby.
Okay, so when I look at the book, the concept of funding with Netflix, social media, masterclass, and financial wealth management coaching, the number one glaring hole that I have is traffic.
Yes, right?
So at the mastermind, we're going to teach you an IG traffic game that is going to give you a presence, but I want you to really understand you're doing that for traffic. Okay? So when you look at your book, you're going to handle that in the mastermind too. You could do a book in one day. A good book, like a really good book. So when I look at your book, I would put this as a month KPI, which means that you're focusing on it. Just schedule it on the calendar so you can stop thinking about it. Okay, why do you do the book? Because you want to take traffic and you want to convert it to cash. I know y'all want to write a book because it makes you feel better, but your book is a a influence thing. It's taking a group of cold people and influencing them. And if you've heard anything that I've been talking about, you got to get influenced audiences. So this actually fits together more than you might even completely see, but you need to understand the order to put it in. So you got traffic, you got social traffic, which will give you we're going to show you how to monetize this. I don't want you building a social presence. F that. There's a lot of people I've coached over the years that have a lot of people on their social and they ain't making any money. Okay, so when we do social, we want money. Okay, I don't want you paying for a social media manager and it being a cost. You want it to produce income. So everybody write this down. Every employee that you have or person that's full-time with you should be creating at least $300,000 in revenue. Those are real numbers. Okay, so some of you guys are like, I'm not even creating 300,000. That's a problem because if you have somebody working with you, you're not effectively managing it. And I've had to let people go because I don't know how to effectively manage it and will not make it a priority to go figure it out because other things are taking priority. Does that make sense? Like I've hired good people that I can't effectively lead along my journey, and I'm not making it a priority to lead them because other things are more of a priority. You're in a good spot because whoever you hire should help take you to 300. Does that make sense? If it's a full-time person. So you've got traffic in IG. You also have the summit model. So now when you're looking at the cash, the question is, are they going through the book to cash? Or are they going through a master class to cash? And by the way, when I say cash, I'm being very superficial. Obviously, cash is connected with transformation that he's doing. Does that make sense? What worries me is when you've got nonprofit coaching and wealth coaching. When I opened up Hardcore Leadership, it knocked the company back 2.5 years in revenue. So the trajectory we were going slowed it way down. 2.5 years. So I don't love that there's two major things on this. Now, if you focus on the financial wealth, I'm just saying this, or the other one, and these are all going to the same product and service. And then once you've hit your
She gone
Bear
blank.
with us. Looks like her internet just cut out.
and could be the other thing.
And she's back.
Oh, shoot. Okay, let me say this. So you've got your traffic game, right? You have your traffic game. And are they going to come through the book into one product or service, or are they coming through the masterclass to one product and service? I would prefer this to be the same thing.
They are conceptually. I actually think, Shanda, my thought had been that whether it's financial and it's referral, or if it's something like hardcore, either one could be referred to through both.
Well, hardcore would be a cross sale.
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
or another product you have would be a cross sale. So it's like you're focused on doing your thing, but
Yeah.
there's a cross sale. So it's like network marketing, right? So I do network marketing. I'm very, very clear that I'm doing 6 figures a month, reoccurring. It takes very little of my time, right? Like how many guys would love to build a network marketing business with me? Put P for partner. Put P for partner in the chat. I'm actually doing a call at 3:00 today. Right? And so if anybody has an interest in that, I'm literally building 6 figures a month right now. Right? And so it's all my money that I make in network marketing is going to investments. All of it. I'm not using any of it for my lifestyle. Right? So Keith, can you drop the link for the call tonight? Can you drop the link for the call tonight, please? Thank you. There you go. You can click that link. If you click that link, you can meet me tonight at, I think it's 3 or 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's a real opportunity. I do that on the side. And so I've obviously figured out how to do that on the side. so that I can generate my vision there of multiple streams of income. And some people want to do that with me, they'll be on the call tonight. Does that make sense? Or in a couple hours from now, 2 hours from now. Cool? So you got to have your main dish that you're focusing on. So my main dish is Mentor Me Live. That's my main dish. Does that make sense, guys?
Totally.
And when you look at that, like that I will feel safe for you that you're focused on one thing. But like you could hit your main dish in. Were you on the last Mentor Me Live call? I did.
When was that one?
Tuesday.
I think I was. I don't remember. I was on several calls this week.
That's the problem. Where I talked about what I did to create 7 figures, like consistently.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to go listen to that. Keith, send him a private message with that call, because
Okay.
it'll take this to the next level. Go listen to it on the way to work, whatever. Just go listen to it, because you'll get it, and literally apply everything I talked to this, and then do the cross. Cool?
Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome. Bye. Esteban.
So this is going to be for my 50th birthday promotion. And proximity is power. This idea was gifted to me by somebody in this community. Just launched my virtual personal training and on demand. So
Yeah.
looking to infuse with participants. 12-week challenge for free with a $200 deposit. They complete an excellence, they get the refund. So excellence is posting on social media, releasing the 10 pounds in 12 weeks. I got one more, and it escapes me right now, but there's 3 aspects of that. OTO question for you. I was thinking of,
I'm thinking right now.
so 12 weeks, they'll participate. The ones that complete in excellence get the $200 back to them.
Okay, here's what's coming up for me. I love it if you have a lot of traffic. I love it because, but I don't know if I love it because you're creating another barrier to entry. Why are you creating a barrier to entry? Is there a reason?
And what do you mean by barrier? Where? In which way?
So I have friends that do paid challenges all the time, and they stopped doing paid challenges because they couldn't get enough people into them. Right? And they have a pretty good sized brand. Now there's other people who do paid challenges and they do very, very well with them. That comes down to a leadership. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things you do well, there's certain things you need to work on doing better. So
I'm having it paid, and I'm speaking in the message. That's a force function. So they put some skin in the game to ensure that they actually complete in excellence.
I get that. And I love that for accountability. What I'm worried about, okay, so I would rather them register and then on the next page, encourage them to step up for accountability. And it's 100% refundable accountability. I got to come up with some language around it, but it's like, here's your security blanket. If you do this, this, and this, you'll win. The problem is you probably won't unless you put in $199 and you'll 100% get this money back if you complete the things I said above.
Got it.
No thanks, I don't want accountability is the link, or yes, please, I'm ready to succeed. You get what I'm saying? So give them the option to do that on the next, because I would rather them register first. So you can say all the things on the front end, like this is the one that you're going to stay accountable to, because you know where you're taking them on the next, right? And so you can really bring a lot of the certainty and the power. Like the reason why you haven't succeeded is because you haven't had accountability. The reason why you haven't succeeded is because you've let yourself down, or life and other people have let you down. You get what I'm saying? So you really speak into their reasons that are very real and logical to them. But you know as well as I know that they have a leadership problem. They have a discipline problem, right? And so when they get to the next page after they register and they're all bought in, it says, here's your next step, right? You can be I would even say, be careful when you read this. Are you going to pick your past results or your future success or your future body? Do you guys get what I'm saying? And then go, here's how you 100% will succeed. If you do bullet, 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 and then the problem is you probably won't without having skin in the game. Does that make sense? And then have them put skin in the game, and you're doing it 100% refundable or not. You don't even have to.
I'm doing 100% refundable when they complete an excellence.
Yeah, so I think that's great. So, you're either going to get a lot further than you thought, or you're going to get all the way to the end and get your money back. I love it. I love that. Now, I want you speaking on at least 10 to 12 Facebook groups a month.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm serious. Like I really do. Where you are offering this opportunity, and you could do this absolutely free. However, there's an accountability challenge on the second page that I recommend y'all take.
Got it. Okay.
Say that you'll register. It's like pre-framing the sale, but it's not really a sale. It really is you getting them to step up and
Yeah.
commit. People
Yeah.
commit with their wallets and their time.
I'm live within an hour.
Yeah, if they don't commit with their wallets, they usually don't commit with their time.
Correct.
Cool?
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, social media. I'm going to say goodbye to you and finish the last couple with the Zoom room. So Keith, you can say bye to social media. Everybody have a great weekend. I'll see you back here on Monday at 9 a.m.